Now on CoastTV News.
Hate crime fallout, the organization in Delaware speaking out after alleged racial incidents were revealed in Millville. District dollars debate, the latest pitched by Indian River School District officials for more funding through property tax increases.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome to CoastTV News Midday. We're going to start taking a live look outside into Rehoboth Beach, and it's a yellow alert day, and we're going to bring in our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey, for a look at the weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Delmarva. And yes, rainy looking camera there as the moderate to heavy rain has moved in. That's why we have a yellow alert for that heavy rain, possibly causing some local flooding. So drive with caution this afternoon. Here's Sussex County. We have some of that moderate rain near Seaford, back through 113, Frankfort, Millsboro, back through Delmar, and that continues down into the Ocean Pines area. Even these little orange areas near US 50, that's some heavier rain. We're seeing that across the eastern shore. So we're seeing this big area of moderate rain, maybe a rumble of thunder in this. I'm not really concerned about thunderstorms or severe weather as we have this bulk of rain moving through. And I think we're in it for a few more hours. You can see the back edge of it now near I-95 and then moving to the east, and it continues to move to the east. But we're going to be in this rain for a while as we have low pressure spinning to our south and a lot of moisture with this system. We have temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, have not moved since this morning, only warming a couple of more degrees, and we're gusting to 30 miles per hour with an onshore flow. So we're looking at a lot of wind along the coast and a lot of rain, gusting to 35 actually, Indian River Inlet right now. So we're looking at this moderate to heavy rain to continue through early afternoon. Then I think it backs off a little bit mid to late afternoon, but that easterly flow keeping us with temperatures only near 60 degrees. So if you don't have to travel this afternoon, I would stay in. Otherwise, travel with caution as that rain chance continues through this evening and still unsettled through the end of the week. A little improvement for the holiday weekend. I'll have much more on that and today's yellow alert coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. In the wake of two former Millville volunteer firefighters facing hate crime charges, the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice is working to prevent future incidents. They're hosting a town hall tonight in Lewis. Organizers say they plan to review what happened in Millville and other hate incidents in Sussex County. We spoke with the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice ahead of today's event.
Intense educational, informational reviews with their people to let them know that whatever the roots of the thinking was that led to this, they're wrong and not acceptable, and they're based in ignorance.
The in-person meeting is at 7 tonight at the Lewis Public Library, and there's also a Zoom option as well. The specific concern in that situation in Millville, and here is what came to light last month. Delaware State Police say in 2024, former volunteer firefighters Jay Droney and Jordan Hastings chased a paid employee around with a rope tied like a noose. According to the fire company, there was continued verbal harassment and racist remarks were used. Both were charged with a hate crime and conspiracy, which are felonies. A court official told CoastTV that Droney's preliminary hearing is scheduled to continue tomorrow at the Sussex County Court of Common Pleas. We have an update on a story we've been covering here in Sussex County, the second of 3 public meetings this month on a second referendum in the Indian River School District takes place tonight at the Lord Baltimore Elementary School. This referendum is asking voters to approve a $22.5 million in additional funding to cover operating costs and maintain competitive salaries for staff. The final meeting on this referendum is a week from tonight at the Indian River High School. Tonight's meeting is at 7 in Ocean View. As Bob was mentioning earlier, the weather expected from today through Friday may cause two-way delays on the Bay Bridge. Officials warn that wind, fog, and rain can delay two-way flow, leading to eastbound delays, especially during the afternoon rush. MDOT says the best travel times are for eastbound is early mornings and for late nights through Memorial Day weekend. Westbound travelers should also aim for off-peak hours. Today in Lewis, the city is getting a new mayor, and it will make history. Amy Morosco becomes the first woman to ever hold that office. She was the only candidate to file by the April 3rd deadline to run after current Mayor Andrew Williams opted not to seek re-election. Morosco announced her run while serving as a member and treasurer on the city council. The swearing-in ceremony is scheduled for just under an hour at noon at the Rollins Center. In an unusual move, the House Rules Committee convened at 1 a.m. this morning to take up Republicans' One Big Beautiful bill. The all-nighter comes after President Trump pushed House GOP holdouts to get behind the package of his top policy priorities. Democrats are slamming potential cuts to programs like Medicaid and accusing Republicans of hiding details in the overnight session. NBC's Alice Barr shows us the latest from Washington.
The committee will come to order.
The schedule may have looked like a typo, but just after 1 a.m., debate began in the House Rules Committee over the massive budget package on President Trump's agenda.
Americans need this legislation to ensure our economic survival.
Democrats slamming the timing.
Then why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night?
Republicans say they need every hour to work through the details ahead of a self-imposed Friday deadline for full House passage that won't require any votes from Democrats, though Republicans have to overcome internal divisions.
There are critical changes that we need to see.
The bill increases spending on immigration and the military and extends the 2017 Trump tax cuts, while temporarily ending tax on tips and overtime, offset through cuts to food assistance, clean energy funding, and Medicaid, which President Trump told conservatives not to F around with, according to two lawmakers in a closed-door meeting Tuesday.
I think we're going to get everything we want, and I think we're going to have a great victory.
Democrats in the minority have little control but have been messaging hard about the real-world impacts.
Millions of people will lose health care. Prices will go up for folks across the country.
Lindsay Latham, who relies on Medicaid to support her special needs son, is deeply worried.
People will file for bankruptcy when they have to go to the doctor or the hospital, and there will be ripple effects.
Republicans insist they're targeting Medicaid fraud, but the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill would take health insurance away from at least 8.5 million people. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A bill introduced in the Delaware House of Representatives would require high school students to successfully complete a half-credit course on financial literacy in order to graduate. House Bill 203 is sponsored by long-neck Republican Jeff Hilofsky. Supporters claim that 95% of Americans have not saved enough for retirement. If approved, it would begin with ninth graders in the 2026 to 2027 school year. Still to come, growers' financial growth, the increasing success for Delaware's farmers markets. Delaware farmers markets hit a record $4.5 million in sales in 2024. State officials say they're hoping to top that in 2025. The Department of Agriculture says that state is aiming to top $5 million in annual sales this year. Governor Meyer has proclaimed May 18th through May 25th as Delaware Grow Week. The state says the week recognizes local markets and food producers. And new this morning in Delaware, a major step forward for Delaware's veterans. The State House has passed a bill to create a brand new Department of Veteran Affairs. The bill would establish a state-level department specifically to support the more than 70,000 veterans living in the first state. If approved, the department would work to improve access to health care, benefits, and federal resources, while also exploring new elder care options and additional veteran homes. The bill now heads to the Senate.
The moderate to heavy rain continues across Delmarva, looking pretty gray on Delaware Bay and Lewis. 57. It is raw out there, and that will continue into the afternoon. And once again, some of this rain is heavy, prompting the yellow alert we have in place. Drive with caution. Lingering showers the rest of the week. A drier holiday weekend on the way. Good time to win an umbrella. That's exactly what Edward Watt from Rehoboth Beach has done. Congratulations from Paul Davis and Coast TV. Your wet forecast coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. We continue a yellow alert for moderate to heavy rain across Delmarva, and the Tyndall's Casual Furniture camera telling the story from Laurel. Look at this, 55. Now, this camera is up on a tower, but we're looking through the clouds and sheets of rain coming down. It has just turned into a miserable day across Delmarva with more of that rain this afternoon, and temperatures really not budging. So that's the big story, is the rain. We have a yellow alert for periods of rain, heavy at times with below average temperatures, and then that rain essentially just lingers for the rest of the week on and off. We could see a few thunderstorms possibly tomorrow afternoon. I think it dries out more so on Friday and then a little drier into the weekend. But today, obviously, we're at the top of the likely scale here on the rain chances. They do back off a little bit tonight into Thursday, but we keep it unsettled. More showers into Thursday, still some lingering showers Friday, and it dries out for a part of the holiday weekend. Saturday and Sunday, I think we're dry, but then Memorial Day, I don't think we keep it dry. I think increasing showers and some more showers as we go into Tuesday. But let's look at the radar, and it's lighting up like a Christmas tree across Sussex County. Anywhere you see the deep green and yellow, that's indicating moderate to heavy rain. So US 13 from Bridgeville down to Laurel, around Long Neck, Millsboro, down to Selbyville, out towards the beaches too, Lewis to Ocean View and back through Fenwick Island. You are looking at that moderate to heavy rain, as is Ocean Pines along US 50 towards Salisbury in the rain, and the moderate to heavy rain too along the eastern shore up into the Denton area. So watch out for a lot of ponding on the roads and maybe some local flooding too, as more of that rain continues down the peninsula. As we put this in motion, you can see we're right in the middle of the heavy rain. Not expecting any thunderstorms, but a rumble of thunder wouldn't be unexpected. And we're looking at the back edge of this now, moving east of 95. So it looks like we're in this rain for another 2 to 3 hours. Then it should back off. That we should be looking at just some scattered showers as we're looking at more of that rain farther south. This big blob of rain right over the top of us, but there is a bit of a break back to the east. We're looking at temperatures into the mid to upper 50s. Haven't really moved much, with an easterly wind really strong at the coast, gusting to 34 Indian River inland and pretty breezy inland as well, as we do have a small craft advisory offshore. We're seeing that steady rain moving through this afternoon. By mid-afternoon, I think it does start to back off. We're looking at cloudy skies this evening, still pretty damp, still some showers through the overnight. And then moving into Thursday, I think we could see some peaks of sun, and that'll get our temperatures into the 60s and 70s. But watch for some afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms. Not expecting anything severe, and still a little unsettled as we head into Friday. Still a little on the cool side with upper 60s and still that lingering shower. Not expecting severe weather today or tomorrow, but definitely a rumble of thunder can't be ruled out. And some places at least a half an inch of rain between now and when the rain ends on Friday, as we're looking at these gusty winds, 30 to maybe 35 miles per hour along the coast. Not as strong inland, but still pretty breezy. And heading into the holiday weekend, look at this, below average temperatures for the holiday weekend and beyond. I think we're dry Saturday, and then heading into Sunday, we're still dry, but on the cool side. Then we could get clipped by a little bit of rain as we head into Memorial Day, but I don't think it's going to be a washout. Today is upper 50s and low 60s across Sussex County with the rain, and then for the eastern shore, similar conditions, and the same around Salisbury back through Ocean City with low to mid 60s. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. A few showers, maybe a storm on Thursday, 68, upper 60s Friday and Saturday. Sunday, 71, Memorial Day, 74. Not a washout, but some showers, and those could linger into Tuesday.
Thank you, Bob. Here on Delmarva, we are still seeing the effects from last Friday's storm. At the Preston Automotive Group company, leaders say hail damaged about 1,500 cars. The hail caused dents on their outdoor vehicles. Preston says they don't have an exact dollar figure yet on all of the damage, but all of the cars will be fixed and then sold in a discounted hail sale.
When a storm like that hits and you have 1,500 cars, you don't expect it to come, and there's nothing that you can do. So you kind of have to ride it out and then kind of assess the damage afterwards.
According to Preston, crews will begin assessing that damage and fixing up the cars. That could take anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks. Coming up tonight on DSN at 6:30, Sussex Tech hosts Polytech in girls soccer, then catch a recap of all of the action on the final score at 10:30. New this morning, a bill approved in the Delaware Senate expands the number of judges in Sussex County. Currently, there are 17 family court judges in the state, And if approved, Sussex County would get 1 additional judge, bringing the total to 4. Coast TV News Midday continues after the break. A rare bird has been spotted by passengers on the Cape May Lewis ferry. According to the American Birding Association, experts were able to identify the bird as a streaked shearwater, making it the first ever sighting of this species in the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, we're taking a look at Ocean View, telling the story with sheets of rain coming down. It's a miserable afternoon as the yellow alert continues. Some of this rain will be heavy at times, so be careful out there. Drive with caution. Lingering rain the rest of the week improving for the weekend. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. Sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. 10-day forecast is coming up next. If you're venturing outside this afternoon, pack your patience. Moderate to heavy rain falling across Sussex County. Maybe some minor flooding, definitely ponding on the roads as the yellow alert continues. Temperatures in the 50s. The heavy rain backs up, but still some showers linger into tonight. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Still a little showery on Thursday with a few storms, and then cool, little drier Friday into a part of the holiday weekend with 60s and low 70s. Memorial Day, 74, some showers. I don't think it'll be a washout, and then a little more rain after that, finally warming up by the end of next week.
Thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us later this afternoon for Coast TV News at 5. Have a great day.